You share something personal. Maybe it wasn't even that dramatic. Just a small truth, a story from your past, an honest opinion, a feeling you usually keep quiet. In the moment, it feels natural. The conversation is flowing, the other person seems open, so you say it. But later, something strange happens. Your mind replays the moment. You start thinking, why did I say that? Did that sound weird? Maybe I shared too much. A small wave of embarrassment appears. Even if the other person reacted positively, even if nothing actually went wrong. And you're left wondering why being honest sometimes feels uncomfortable afterward. The answer has a lot to do with how the human brain processes vulnerability. When you share something personal, you're doing something psychologists call self-disclosure. Self-disclosure is the act of revealing information about your inner world, your experiences, emotions, fears, or beliefs. It's actually one of the core ways humans build trust. Without self-disclosure, relationships stay shallow. But the brain treats self-disclosure carefully, because once something personal is shared, it can't be taken back. That's where the strange emotional shift happens. During the conversation, your brain is focused on connection. Your attention is outward. You're listening, responding, engaging. But once the conversation ends, your brain switches modes. It moves from social interaction mode to self-evaluation mode. And this is where the embarrassment begins. Your mind starts replaying what happened. Psychologists call this post-event processing. It's the brain reviewing a social interaction to check for mistakes. Did I say the wrong thing? Did I reveal too much? Did that change how they see me? This process evolved for a simple reason. In early human groups, reputation mattered for survival. If you embarrassed yourself or broke a social norm, it could affect your place in the tribe. So the brain developed a system that analyzes social interactions after they happen. Most of the time, it's subtle. But when you share something personal, the brain treats that moment as higher risk. Why? Because personal information increases emotional exposure. Think of it like this. When you talk about neutral topics, work, weather, daily routines, you're standing behind a social shield. But when you talk about your feelings, insecurities, or personal experiences, that shield lowers. Your brain becomes aware that part of your identity is now visible. And visibility triggers evaluation. Another psychological factor is uncertainty. After you share something personal, you don't fully know how the other person interprets it. Even if they respond positively, their deeper thoughts remain unknown. The brain dislikes uncertainty, so it tries to fill the gaps, and it often fills them with worst-case interpretations. Maybe they think I'm dramatic. Maybe they think I overshared. Maybe they're judging me. But most of the time, these thoughts are not accurate. They're simply the brain trying to regain control over social uncertainty. There's also a deeper biological element. When you open up emotionally, your brain releases chemicals associated with bonding, like oxytocin. These chemicals make you feel connected in the moment. But once the moment passes, your brain's threat detection system can activate again. Now the mind switches from connection to protection. And protection often shows up as embarrassment. Not because you did something wrong, but because your brain is checking whether that moment of vulnerability was safe. Interestingly, this feeling often appears most strongly in people who are thoughtful and self-aware. People who reflect deeply on their behavior. People who care about how they affect others. The brain of a reflective person runs more social simulations. It replays situations from multiple angles, which can amplify the feeling of embarrassment. But here's the important part. That awkward after feeling doesn't mean the moment was a mistake. In fact, many meaningful relationships are built exactly through those moments. Someone shares something real, the other person understands. Trust grows quietly. The brain simply hasn't caught up yet. It's still operating with ancient social rules designed for small tribal groups where reputation was fragile. So when you feel embarrassed after sharing something personal, it doesn't necessarily mean you revealed too much. It usually means your brain is doing what it was designed to do. Reviewing, analyzing, protecting. But if you look closely, something else is also happening in those moments. You stepped slightly outside the social mask people usually wear. You allowed someone to see a more honest part of you. And while that can feel uncomfortable for a moment, it's also how real connection slowly begins.